Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
I did the story not so long ago about the situation in Colorado where somebody's license plates wound up in an evidence room at a police station. And a police officer borrowed the plates for his personal car and then drove through toll places and didn't pay the tolls. And the tolls then got sent to the people whose plate it was originally. And they thought, hey, that's not how this is supposed to work. Well, I got a note from a gentleman from the East Coast who said, Steve, interesting situation happening over here. And he goes, now, something similar happened to me, but rather than asking you to just take my word for it, he attached a story from a newspaper that was similar to his, but was not his. And then he told me his story. But I'm going to tell you the story from the newspaper because I think that somehow has some confirmation to it. But Jason Jordan wrote this article for the Evening Tribune about Nassau County nonsense, okay? Hornell resident Skip Huff is taking on a legal battle he did not ask for after he says he erroneously received a traffic ticket. Here's the deal. The ticket says that he ran a red light in the westbound lane of North Service Road at Community Drive. And of course, North Service Road is in Nassau County. The violation allegedly occurred on August 2nd at 6:57 a.m. when Huff was just waking up after a long night's sleep at his home in Woodlands community just north of Hornell. Okay? Shocked by the allegations, he looked at his appointment book. He said, I had a hair appointment scheduled for 1 o'clock that day. There's no way I was driving to Long Island and back and still make my appointment. I've never been there in my life. So he's never even been to the place where he says that this ticket was issued. But the authorities have a 12-second video of the traffic violation. The 12-second video shows a vehicle stop at a red light, then turn right on red, under a sign that says, no turn on red. So it sounds like a violation. But taking a closer look at the invoice sent to him by Nassau County Traffic and Parking Violations Agency, the vehicle depicted in the footage is a BMW, and the man drives a Mercedes. Now, here's the deal. BMWs and Mercedes do look a lot alike to many people, but they are, in fact, different makes of car. Okay? So the vehicle in the camera shot is a BMW, and the man drives a Mercedes. Now, here's the thing. The man's Mercedes did have a customized license plate on it that said, Skip. Skip. The problem is that this plate on this car is probably counterfeit. Says here people may have seen Huff's Mercedes tooling around the Hornell area and taken notice of his customized Skip license plate. The license plates on the vehicle in question do read Skip. However, Huff contests that they were either stolen or accidentally reproduced by the state or belong to a vehicle registered in another state and were misidentified. But the point is that it's not him. It's not his car. So he says someone made up a Skip plate and put it on the back of a car. I've heard people say that they think people are doing this with just laser printers, just printing out something that looks like a license plate and slapping it on the back of a car. Because to a camera, a piece of paper or cardboard or something would look like a license plate. Thinking a ticket might be a ruse by scammers trying to collect unwarranted fees, Huff went to Hornell Police Department to inquire about the ticket. The desk sergeant entered a couple of the websites on the ticket and said as far as he was concerned, it was legitimate. I thought it was a scam, but it appears to be an error instead. So he then went to an attorney to see what the attorney could do. And they wrote a letter to Nassau County stating I'd never been there my entire life. And the situation apparently isn't uncommon, as it appears in the frequently asked questions section of the Traffic and Parking Violations Agency's website. If your vehicle plate is stolen or you received a ticket from a police officer, you may complete an affidavit of non-responsibility and attach supporting documentation. Your affidavit and supporting documentation will be reviewed and will result in either dismissal of the notice or scheduling of an administrative hearing. If an owner furnishes satisfactory evidence pursuant to this paragraph, the Traffic and Parking Violation Agency may terminate the prosecution of this notice of liability issued to the owner. Now, Huff thinks they should do away with traffic cameras. And he says based on this is why he's saying that. And there is something to be said about that. Now, every time I mention traffic cameras, people go, Steve, don't speed. You won't get a speed camera ticket. And if you don't run red lights, you won't get a traffic camera ticket. Unless someone's cloned your license plate, or unless a mistake is made, or unless they've shortened the yellow on the light, or there's all kinds of reasons why you can get a ticket unfairly. But as he is pointing out, when a camera issues the ticket, there's no one there to even look and go, oh wait, that license plate's not real. A cop walking up might notice that. I would hope he would, but a cop would certainly notice the mismatch between the plate and the car, assuming that the cop would run the plate. And the cameras don't run the plates. The camera just stupidly issues the ticket to what it thinks is correct. So this man here, who's never been to the place where the camera is, got a ticket from a camera and said, no, you were here in your other car, not your Mercedes, your BMW, which he doesn't have. He says, now I feel they're not worth a damn if they continually make mistakes like that. So whether or not the violation will be dismissed or enforced and adversely affect his record remains to be seen because he hasn't had his date in court yet. But the gentleman who sent me the note about this told me a story very, very similarly and said, here's the deal. I was issued a ticket for someplace I've never been, and I look at the photograph and the make and model of the car. It's not me. It's not my car. It's completely wrong. And somebody has clearly just printed up a fake plate. And so they're out driving around. The tickets are getting sent to the wrong person. And presumably, if I had to take a guess, the person driving around with the fake plate will probably take it off, slap on another fake one that's different next month. Yeah, who knows? But the point is there are various problems when machines do our law enforcement for us. I saw this wonderful movie a few years back called Terminator, and it predicts a wonderful future where machines take over. I don't know about, seriously, delegating law enforcement to machines. And I understand that there's going to be somebody who looks at the ticket, presumably, and then it gets sent. But when someone can seriously just simply take a piece of paper and run it through a printer to make it look like a license plate and stick it on their car and then drive past plate readers that are looking for either speeders or red light violations, and they get off while somebody else gets the ticket, there does appear to be a slight problem. And the fact that the person who sent me the story had it happen to them, the fact that the guy in the story here had it happen to him, and the fact that it's actually one of the frequently asked questions on their website. It's that frequently asked that they have to say, here's what happens if somebody's done this to you or this has happened to you. That's how often it happens. And by the way, just so you understand, that when they issue the ticket to the wrong car, chances are they're never going to catch the right car. So it causes a headache for this person, and the fine doesn't get paid. So there's a breakdown in the system right there. Now, of course, you might say, Steve, if everything works properly, hopefully a cop will be driving along one day and see someone's license plate flapping in the breeze and go, hey, that's not right. License plates shouldn't do that in the breeze. Maybe that person will get pulled over and then nailed for driving on a bad plate. That's possible. That's possible. More likely what's going to happen is people are going to be inconvenienced by getting tickets for cars they weren't driving that have plates on them that aren't theirs. But that's just, what's going to happen. So this is one of the weird byproducts of having red light cameras and speed cameras and so on. And, I've already mentioned to you, if I was asked to vote, I'm against them. Right now, Michigan does not have them, but they are talking about it in Lansing. They're talking about instituting them here. I'll cover that in a future episode. But as of right now, Doran sent me the story, Nassau County Nonsense by Jason Jordan. You got to be careful if you get one of those tickets in the mail. Check to make sure it's actually you. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. A day well lived makes yesterday a dream of happiness and tomorrow a vision of hope.